Hi, I'm so glad that you have joined me today. Today we're making spaghetti with meat sauce from Italy. So grab a seat and let's get started. So I'm going to start off with some bell peppers, okay? About a half a bell pepper. So you're going to make what you're going to need. And then you're also going to be just dicing these small, you know. You don't want them to be too large in the actual meat sauce. But bell peppers add a really good flavor to your dish. And so that's why we're going to put these in here, okay? So they're not sweet. They're a little bit spicy. So we want that for our spaghetti sauce, okay? And then we're also going to add in a little bit of mushrooms. So we can just cut these in half here. I've already sliced up a few, so just slice up a few more. And we'll use about a half of a cup of mushrooms as well. The mushrooms add a nice meaty umami flavor. So that's why we use them also in the spaghetti, okay? So we're just going to go for about a half of a cup of diced onion as well. You can use yellow onion or you can use white onion. You can use any of those that you would like to use, okay? Just run your knife through here like so. And it looks like there's a little bit of root in there, so let's get that out of there. And that holds it all together, so we don't want that to happen. Okay. So just run your knife through here like so. That's what happens when you have like a half of an onion. You have to kind of strategize dicing your onions a little bit differently than usual. So, well, it's getting to be the holiday season. You know, Christmas is just around the corner. So is Hanukkah. I think QUARTS is around the corner as well. So there's a lot of different holidays for this time of year that people celebrate. It's a good time to make a big pot of spaghetti with meat sauce. One of those warming, flavors from Italy. Remember that pasta is from Italy and noodles are from China, okay? So these go right in here like so. And then we're also going to add in some minced garlic, okay? And so I have about 4 cloves. You don't have to use that much. I like a lot of garlic in my spaghetti sauce. And I think 2 would probably be sufficient, but and it kind of depends on the size of the garlic cloves as well. But I love garlic, okay, a lot. And I don't care if some people don't like it. It keeps the vampires away, right? We don't want any vampires. All right, so this goes right in here. And there we go, like yay. I'll get all this in here. So we're just gonna do all of our spices now and our herbs, okay? So just grab a little bit of a prep bowl and a measuring spoon. And we're just gonna measure these out. So we're gonna put, this is basil. We're gonna put a whole entire teaspoon of basil in there, all right? And we're also going to put a teaspoon of oregano, okay? Oregano is, basil and oregano are Italian spices, basically. That's what gives it its flavor. So a teaspoon of oregano as well goes in there. And then we're just gonna put a little splash, or dash, I should say. None came out, so that's why I gave it a little bit of a shake there. And so we're gonna use these, okay? We're also gonna put a little bit of salt and pepper in here. So we're gonna be using a teaspoon of salt, okay? And then we're also going to be putting in a teaspoon of pepper too. So quite a bit of pepper goes in here. Okay, so a teaspoon of pepper as well. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, so that's that. And come on over here for a second and let's get our water going here. So we have about 3 3/4 of water going here in a stock pot. And you're just gonna put about 2 teaspoons of salt in here because we have to flavor our noodles, or from Italy, it is pasta. And we're going to be doing that. And then, so our noodles are going to be these noodles right here. Okay, I'm using some organic spaghetti noodles. And they're going to go in here as soon as the water starts to boil. I'll see you back in a minute. It's time to put the noodles, or that pasta, spaghetti, into the water, boiling water. We're just gonna put, this is 16 ounces, so we're gonna use 16 ounces here, okay? And do not break the noodles and put them in here, okay? Because Italians roll over them in their graves when you do that. I mean, that's a joke, obviously, but they don't like it because the reason why the noodles are this long is because they're supposed to stay that long. You're supposed to twirl them on your fork and eat the spaghetti that way. There is a debate between cutters and twirlers, but we're going to be twirlers, okay? So we're going to stay authentically Italian today, all right? So this, all you have to do is, it doesn't fit into most pans, so you just have to wait for it to bend, and then you just stuff it in here like so. And then we're just going to use this pasta server to make sure that things, you know, in here don't get stuck when you keep it stirred, okay? So in this pan right here, go ahead and follow me over here. We're going to go ahead and put in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. This is already heated up. You can already see it's really hot. Oh, it's screaming hot. Should probably turn it down a little bit now. Okay. And so in this pan, we're going to go ahead and put in our vegetables, starting off with our garlic in here first. Okay, and then going with all of our vegetables here. And put this back on here. Get all those veggies in there and all of this garlic as well. And we're on medium heat right now. Go ahead and grab some stir. And move this around the pan. Oh, it smells heavenly. I love making spaghetti with meat sauce. It's so easy to do, and it's so good for you. We have carbohydrates in here. We also have protein from the meat here that we're going to use, the ground beef. We also have fat in here. I just used the olive oil, right? And there's also fat in the meat as well. And then we have lots of vitamins and minerals from the meat, and then also from the vegetables, the green bell peppers, the onions, and the mushrooms, and the garlic, okay? And all the spices and herbs have vitamins and minerals in there, and then we're also going to put in some water. So all 6 nutrients are in spaghetti. Great for athletes, season meals or pre-event meals when you're actually doing some sort of a performance. So I have a nutrition and conditioning class that I teach, and then I also teach culinary arts. So for my nutrition and conditioning class, we do spaghetti and meat sauce because it's so nutritious for athletes to have before a performance, okay? So anyways, let's go ahead and check the pasta here a little bit more. It's looking good here. So you have to stir it around a bit, you know, in order to make sure that it doesn't stick together, okay? Don't put oil in here, though. I mean, some people put oil in here, but, you know, it's a debate, but I don't like the oil in there because it coats the pasta too much, and it's kind of strange. It doesn't really cause it not to stick, so that's a mess, okay? We're just going to put that right there and just keep moving this around the pan here. Oh, like I said, it smells so good in here. I wish you were here. Okay, let's put 1 pound of ground beef that goes in here. This is 93% fat-free and then 7% fat. So I choose that, otherwise the pasta gets a little bit too fatty in it. And lean meat is actually better for you too. So Just break this apart and mix it right in here like so. Like I said, it's smelling good in here. It's getting some great caramelization on the vegetables. And we'll do the same thing for the meat here. Well, let's stir the pasta one more time. Okay, remember you have to stir it about every 45 seconds. So you have to man the scene when you're in the kitchen making pasta of any kind. Otherwise it clumps together and sticks together. And we definitely don't want that. Okay? Make sure you go to the bottom of the pan also and make sure that everything is stirred up really well. Okay? Alright, back over here again. We are multitasking today. Okay, so this is just about done. So what we're going to do is once the meat gets all the pink out of it, we're going to put in some tomato sauce. Okay? And we're going to put in some beef broth too. And then we're also going to put in all of our spices right now. Okay? So these go right in here like so. We mise en place them earlier in the video. You just continue to do this here on your meat. And I'll meet you back here in a few seconds. It's time to put the tomato sauce in here and get this a simmering. It's also, we need to check this one more time because we're looking for al dente for the pasta and it's not quite there. I can tell that it should be, I think, yeah, it should be firm to the bite, but that's a little bit much right now. So we're going to continue here. Just put the tomato sauce in here. Like so. And then what you do with the can, you just take this and you rinse down all the tomato sauce with water. Okay. And you do this. Okay. Go in here, rinse all this down with some water. Twirl it around so that you get every bit of the tomato sauce out of the can. Okay. And you don't waste any of it. Okay. Many people do that. That's one of the tricks. Tricks of the trades. Okay, and this goes in here like so. And we're just going to put in a half of a cup of beef broth too. It gives it a good depth of flavor. Okay, so this goes in here as well. And we're just going to watch this simmer. Okay, and it's going to simmer for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, and leave the lid off because we want everything to get thick and to build flavor. And so when you simmer it, what you're doing is you're adding flavor to all of the ingredients. They're kind of like all the ingredients are getting used to one another, you know, and so that's what you do when you're making any type of a sauce, really. But those that have dairy products in them, usually that doesn't work. But tomato sauce and liquidy products like that, this process works great. So just so that you know, these need to be in here for about 12 minutes, the noodles do, or the pasta. And so we're just about there. It was close, but not quite there. Al dente, like I said, means firm to the tooth or firm to the bite. And it's an Italian term. But that's, yeah, they're just about there. So in a couple of minutes, I'll meet you right back here and I'll show you how to safely pour the noodles into a colander. It's time to drain the pasta. So go ahead and put your colander right into the sink, okay? And then you're going to grab your stock pot, okay, with both of your hands. Say, person coming through, if you have more than one person in your kitchen. And then you're just going to pour this in here. And then because the steam can burn you, let it rest for a second and then go back for a second. Yeah, here. Okay, there we go. So that's how you do that. And you just take this out of here. Nice steam bath, right? and just get all the water out of there. That's how you do that. So let's move on over here. Let's turn this off real quick and move over here and let's make some garlic bread to go with this bad boy, right? So we're going to go ahead and put the butter on here, okay? Slather it on here. You don't want any nooks or crannies or crevices without butter on them, okay? We're gonna do it up big here, okay? So just some more butter on here. And probably gonna be using about 5 tablespoons of butter, okay? And you don't have to use butter. You can use oil if you want to, or you can use margarine if you're trying to get away from animal products, or if you're a vegetarian or whatever. You can also use meat crumbles for the meat. Hey, next, we're going to be putting on some garlic powder. Okay, just sprinkle it on evenly. Probably got about a teaspoon of garlic powder, okay? Not garlic salt, there's a difference, okay? And then we're just gonna sprinkle on some oregano as well. About a half a teaspoon of this throughout, okay? And then we're gonna also add in some basil and crinkle it between your fingers here. So that brings out the nice flavor of the basil. And it brings all those aromatics to the forefront. Okay, so that goes on there, that basil does. And we're just gonna put a little bit of S&P on here. Okay, so we can control the salt. So about half a teaspoon of salt goes on here. You don't wanna skimp on the salt here, okay? And then we're also gonna put in some pepper. All right, on here. Not too much, but just a little bit. It adds to the nice flavor. And a little bit of parsley also. So let's do the same thing that we did before. Let's kind of move it between our fingers. Add it on here nicely. There we go. We have our parsley on here. So we have lots of things on here, don't we? And then lastly, some Hungarian paprika. This adds that red color that you see so often on garlic bread, okay? And there we go. And this goes into the oven at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. The sauce is ready, the meat sauce. You know, so come over here and look at this. This is so good. This is about how thick it should be. And so we're gonna turn this off and we're gonna move this right over here and plate up, because we're ready. Okay, I have a nice presentation bowl here. And I'm going to also use a little bit of basil leaves. So you're gonna basically roll these up like a cigar. This is called chiffonade. And you're just going to thinly cut the strips into very thin ribbons, okay? And then you're gonna kind of brush it apart here, let it scatter apart. So we have basil, yum, yum, yum. So we're just going to grab some of the pasta here, and we're going to try and do a spin of the pasta here. Whoops, I have this that fell out, and this that fell out of there, and so did this one here. So let's do one more stack here of pasta. Remember, we do not cut it, okay? And spin this around like so. So we have a pile in the center here. And there we go. So we have a heaping pile right here, okay? And then after that, we're going to use a ladle here and ladle this out of here like so. Put it on here like this. Oh, wow. My mouth is watering. It looks so good. Okay, there we go. We got that. And then we're just going to grab a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And you guys, this Parmesan cheese is actually from Parma, Italy. It's called Parmigiano Reggiano because in Italy there is a town called Parma and there's also one called Reggio. Okay, so that's why it's called Parmigiano Reggiano, is because it becomes from those two regions if it's authentic. It also has to be aged for at least 1 year minimum, up to 3 or 4 years it can be. So the more it gets to be more hard, the longer it has been aged because it loses all of its moisture. Okay, so we're gonna put that on there. We're gonna put our ribbonettes on here. And then you're gonna follow me over here real quick and we're gonna get the bread out of the oven because we cannot serve this up without garlic bread. There we go. Oh man, look at that. Look at that bread. That looks so delicious here. So, I'm going to try this real quick. So grab the bread, put it over here fast, okay? The faster you do it, the better, because then you don't burn your fingers, right? So let's just cut into this bread. Ooh, hot. There we go. And here we go on our second piece of bread here. Okay, so we are going to put this, use that serrated, I'm gonna put this right on here, like so. Let me move all these things out of here real quick so I can do a really nice final presentation for you, right? And I'll show you what it looks like here. So here we go. Spaghetti with meat sauce, with a little bit of basil on there, a little bit of bread, and if you really want to, you can grab some pepper and put it on here for your final touch. You know how they come around to your table and say, would you like freshly cracked black pepper? You say, yes, I do. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today, making spaghetti with meat sauce from Italy. Join me again. Hope to see you soon. Subscribe and hit the bell. Bye-bye.